All right, Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for November 16th to the 22nd. My name is Athen. This is for Sidereal Astrology, by the way, very different from mainstream astrology. So if you're new to this channel, do check the description down below because your sign might be different. All right, Aries, so a week of mixed energy, but probably leaning more towards the more challenging side of things this week. It's subtle, though, and it's nothing really new, in fact. It's involving mostly this Neptune going station direct here on Wednesday, with Saturn squaring up to that Neptune now for the next few weeks, all the way through November 5th. So this is all about disillusionment lifting with Neptune direct. And if we look at your chart for this week, we'll see that Neptune's been transiting your 11th house, which has been very much about the either group things and ideals and visions with the future, with anything involving networking, groups, that sort of thing, which has been over many years with Neptune in that 11th. But now with Saturn getting very close to that squaring position, it's where reality really hits those visions or those dreams, and especially with Neptune going direct around Wednesday. So I don't feel like it's going to hit us all like a ton of bricks this week, but it will be more subtle. And again, it's nothing new because Saturn has already been close to that square lately. So if you've been feeling like that, grounded energy of seeing things for how they are, sometimes confusion and doubt in terms of where we're going with our future, that sort of thing. The key with this transit is to integrate and to balance and to work slowly and consistently while going with the flow. So it's all coming from your 8th house, which is building those foundations right now. Essentially everything that's meaningful to you, that's deep, has to be there. It has to have that foundation. If it doesn't, then you're going to notice it's not able to grow. It's not able to have that stability. So whether it's relationships, whether it's these group things or ideal things of that 11th house, could even be income from work, by the way, there is that necessity to have it deep, to have it meaningful, to see things for how they are. So it's a great few weeks to start to slowly integrate that, not make any major decisions though, because usually we're not seeing things very clearly with this Neptune kind of square. But still, nonetheless, slowly, seeing it in terms of what it feels like, what's our intuition telling us, where are things guiding us, and although it's not very conceptual, it's still a lot can be learned and a lot can be changed through that more intuitive process of things. But slow and steady is very important, patience is very important, and seeing things for both how they are and in terms of what our dreams and visions are. So it's an integration week. I feel like that's going to certainly be the major aspect in terms of these general readings. Of course, our own personal charts are the most impactful, but anytime you have two very slow-moving planets like this, it's very important for these general readings. And like I said, that's going to be all the way through the beginning of November. So focusing on this week, though, narrowing it in here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do have Mercury combust over the sun. So there is this, there is passion. In fact, there is this expressive and communicative nature coming through this week, and it is in that 7th house of relationships for you. So when it comes to your interactions, that's where the last new moon has been. So there's a lot of new beginnings still shaping up for you in regards to those personal connections. Now maybe there's a lot to be said. Maybe there's a lot to be expressed, a lot of excitement perhaps. So it's a great thing. And, like the Vedics would say, is just, make sure that you are bringing the extra attention to the communicative aspects of this, because Mercury is behind the sun. So the passion comes first, but then the intellect is kind of secondary to that. So it's important to balance that out as best as we can, and more so to just have that awareness of the more, exchanging communicative aspect of it. But in either case, could be some more new beginnings, especially in terms of what we're learning right now about relationships. So that's going to be the early part of the week, and then that Neptune direct, sort of a haze, disillusionment sort of clearing up, reality sort of presenting itself slowly as the week unfolds. Then around this Friday time period, we got a couple important aspects. Mercury sextiling up to the North Node, so I think there is an ability to communicate and to share in those relationships, and especially towards that life path direction, which has been in that 6th house of yours. So especially when it comes to the health, the diet, the routine, time management, energy management, all of this 6th house daily stuff where you have Mars and Venus right now transiting and the North Node now some positive support, both from Saturn too. In fact, during the weekend, Saturn will be sextiling up to Mars. So especially at the end of the week, there's more of that patient, more of that disciplined energy. I think things are toning down a little bit, but in a good way that makes it more manageable for us to move through the motions of, in this sense, for you to take care of those daily things, which, by the way, you can enjoy quite a bit with Venus there. So anyways, positive support there, learning perhaps, and probably going deeper with the truth. Mercury is going to be shifting into Scorpio here around Friday and Saturday. So naturally, now there's this progression into that 8th house. First with Mercury, it's going to be followed by the Sun to join up with Saturn, which is about those foundations. So here, over the second half of the week, seeing things for how they are, diving deep. You do have that depth in terms of both the mental and communicative aspects, and it's a great time to work with that, to see things for how they are, to get to the matter of the truth, and to dive deep in life so that you can form those foundations. Now, also on Friday does have Venus joining up to this T-square between Uranus and Pluto. Uranus-Pluto square has been going on for the past 3 years, creating change with your life path as well as spiritual freedom when there is that's healthy self-detachment. So now Venus joining up with that, it can be an intense Friday around that time period in terms of relationships. Could be difficult interactions. Again, this really depends on our personal charts. But watch for anything that's forceful. Watch for anything that's trying to control things too much, because sometimes Pluto can bring out that more power struggle kind of intensity to it. But the best way to work with it is to work with it constructively. Again, to have that depth, to have that openness in those interrelationships, as well as freedom. Freedom in relationship, whether it's romantic or otherwise, is of course so important. And without having to control it too much, which is Venus. Maybe even see it in terms of it being a sort of self-improvement energy of learning more about ourselves in that process. So that'll be Friday, and then the weekend tops off with that Mars sextiling up to Saturn. So again, a productive approach, and the Sun then sextiles up to the North Node. So there is this focus over the weekend towards a lot of the self-improvement energy certainly available. But I would say the high point of the week is this Saturn squaring up to Neptune, with Neptune going station direct. That reality meets the dreams, meets the visions, and it can be very constructive as when we're seeing both in that way, in that balanced way. And then as the week unfolds, it's getting deeper with Mercury going into Scorpio. Some constructive depth and work, maybe in the relationship sphere around Friday. And then the weekend tops off as we go into next week with perhaps a very productive, toned down energy that makes it quite manageable for taking care of a lot of these things. All right, so Aries, have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.